presentation funnels. This is when people have gone through, they got the lead, they got the book, and they've either taken the challenge or they're looking at taking a challenge and really stepping up their game in whatever your niche is and your sub niche.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much that to start off. So yeah, like the video sales letter.
Secret number 14.
Mm-hmm. So the video sales letter on secret number 14 is pretty neat because essentially what that does is it confirms everything that you've been really excited about up until this point, but it also lets you know that there's more to come because quite frankly, this isn't just a get rich quick anything. Like whatever the product is, you're not just going to immediately arrive to your best possible destination that you can off the bat. You're kind of going to have to lean more into it in order to actually reap the benefits, and that's what that's what this video does essentially. It really confirms a lot of the, suspicions you might have had, or deconfirms the suspicions that you had initially.
Breaking down false beliefs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Breaking down the false beliefs for sure. So let me go ahead to this section and give you a little bit of details. So 14, by the way, this book is awesome. It's hardbound and it still smells fresh. The outside, not so much, but the inside smells real good.
What does the outside smell like, Jelani?
The outside smells like a little bit of soy sauce mixed with very friendly pets, stuff like that. But so video sales letter funnels, all right? So essentially, in a nutshell, it consists of, the video would be on the site that would be hosting whatever the product that, you would be buying. In this instance with Russell, it would be essentially the page where it's the headline and it's telling you essentially a video sales letter funnel has 3 pages. The sales page, often with an order form bump, an upsell page, often with another upsell page, and downsells as well, and a thank you page. So in those 3 pages, you would have gotten all the information you needed to be like, okay, well, I already know what the next step is. Plus, you get a quick thank you as to thanking whoever it is that's purchasing your product.
Mm-hmm. And the video sales letter is designed on the old school sales letter. So if you've ever been marketed to directly by mail, especially back in the day, they might write you a letter about the product. I think I mentioned this before, but go to GaryHalbert.com, HALBERT. He's a very famous copywriter, and this is a guy that used to write ads for like Dove and Dove soap and people like that, basically getting people to sell through the mail. And I think that's very hard because if I'm just getting the mail, again, we got to go through hook, story, offer. So the packaging has to be good enough for me to even open the letter if I can tell it's a sales letter. And then the language has to be strong enough to actually compel me to do something. Most of the time, I already, you already knew you wanted what toys from PetSmart, so you go straight to PetSmart. You're not going to take a letter out of the mail and be like, oh, these people have cat toys. Maybe I'll buy from them instead of PetSmart. No, You're going to go to the person that you already trust.
Exactly.
But if I can convince you to switch over to my product or that my product is better or somehow gives you a stronger benefit, then you're probably going to go with the one that you think is going to give you the better benefit. And so the video sales letter is essentially just a script on video. I'm going to be in front of you saying the same thing that I would have written to you directly through the mail.
Mm-hmm. I actually wanted to pose a question to you, Kristen. So in your online shopping, has there been a product that you've been hesitant to get, but you were convinced to get after you go to the product and watch a quick video on it?
Yes, actually, yes.
Okay. So for me, what that was online, what I would do is I would compare products. And a lot of the times, if I want something specific, I won't get a product unless it has that specific thing. So certain products there may be multiple products with that specific thing. But what I do to differentiate is I'll watch on Amazon, for instance, a lot of the times when you go to a product, you can also go to several pictures of the product, and at the bottom of the pictures is usually a video, which sums up what the product is, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like similar to a video sales letter. And I've noticed that a lot with a lot of the audio equipment and also visual equipment that I would get. So I would look at the video and make sure I would be looking to see if it's the correct size a lot of the time. But typically that's a really easily accessible form of a sales letter funnel that I've seen, you know, in practice. So, but yeah, that's typically what I've experienced with video sales funnels.
Yeah, or if you get this book, like we'll talk about, you can get this, since I'm an affiliate of Dotcom Secrets, you can get this book through me. And if you go through my affiliate link, what you pop up, the page that you get is Russell Brunson talking about Dotcom Secrets. And it is basically a video sales letter. I think it's about 7 or 8 minutes long, telling you what's in it and what benefits you're going to get from it.
Exactly. So yeah, video sales funnels are a way to take the archaic form of sales letters and kind of update them to be a little bit more digestible.
Yeah,
for sure. So, I mean, the video sales funnel was a very powerful tool, especially at the start of like the video social revolution. Like, you know, when social media became king, it was like, oh, well, if you have a video, then you're probably going to sell it a lot better than anybody else.
Definitely.
So, nice. All right. So the video sales funnel is pretty nice. I like it.
Mm-hmm. What we got next? Secret number 15.
So, yeah, I think I skipped it probably, but video sales. So I was flipping kind of fast. So the video sales letter was number 14, right?
Yep.
And then 15.
Wait for it.
It's weird because I think I keep skipping it, but I don't know if I'm doing this right.
Is it the dog-eared page?
Nope, the dog-eared page is that one. So I'm flipping. Well,
I'm going to spoil the suspense.
Yeah,
it's a webinar funnel.
Yay! There you go. But yes, webinar funnels are pretty tight, and fortunately, timing is everything. So a webinar funnel has 5 pages: a registration page, a thank you page, a webinar room, an order form page, and a reply page, which isn't pictured on this graphic, but you can also add bumps, upsells, downsells, and thank you page if you'd like to do that. So essentially, the webinar funnel is similar to the video sales funnels, but it also adds, you know, a webinar room and an order form page and a reply page, which is really interesting. So, I mean, as far as I've been concerned, I haven't gone to a lot of webinars, but me and Darian actually did. When we first were learning about DIY secrets, we've gone through a bit of practice on trying to get our webinar going for precisely the same type of stuff we're talking about today, but more on a scale of musicians and folks that are learning how to do music and things on their own. And what we've done is essentially give people the opportunity to come and talk with us directly inside of a webinar. And essentially that gives you the chance to not only know or learn about what we have, but it also gives you the opportunity to interact with us and also follow up with us if you have any questions. So that's pretty much the sum of what the webinar funnels can provide.
Yeah, so each one of these is some sort of presentation. The video sales letter is a presentation that's designed to really break down those false beliefs, roadblocks, and objections that you might have to the product before there's a chance to have any follow-up. Then with the webinar, I'm doing that in real time typically, and then you also have a chance for follow-up. And then on the last one, the product launch funnel kind of breaks down the video sales letter into multiple pieces over time, and then again presenting what the product is to you via a video. So Kristen, I want to ask you, have you ever been to a webinar, which is just a seminar on the web, but have you ever been to the webinar?
Yes, as of recently, it was also with the COVID restrictions. So yes.
What was the webinar about?
Education.
Okay.
Currently, things that are going on with Webster, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. So basically they took you through the same process that Jelani talked about. You probably had to register somewhere, whether that's with the Zoom or on the Google Calendar, some form of registration to sign up to come. And then they may have given you some more information to follow up with that, to be like, if you're coming to the presentation, these are the things you're going to need, or these are the things you should think about. And then you have the actual presentation room and they're giving the seminar, and they're talking about the product or the service or the information that you need. And then they follow up with the other pages that Jelani talked about.
Yeah, it is really interesting. Like, I mean, I haven't been to many webinars. So, I mean, and mostly because I know myself well enough to know that before, a lot of the time when I was forced to watch videos on the internet, it was stuff that was not near as interesting to me as I'd hoped, especially in the webinar version. But over time, I've eventually got a knack for it. So I want to go to some good webinars, but they just need to be out there.
You might even see them. You might even see them on some webinars coming up here this year. You've been highly involved in FarFetched DIY Secrets, which is our info product for FarFetched. And so you'll probably be on as many webinars as you've been to very pretty soon.
Yeah, dude. I'm saying it's weird because when I started streaming online, it was a similar thing. I'd streamed exactly the same amount of times as I did before I started streaming. When I started streaming, like when I was a video game streamer, they were like, "You must do this all the time." I was like, "No, I don't." But I'm just hopping in.
Yeah. And some of the notes that I have written down here, the keys to the webinar funnel, are that you can make it once and run it forever. That's a beautiful thing about being online, is like you only have to record it once. It can be marketed in multiple different places, multiple different times, 24 hours a day. And as long as you have all your links and your background funnel set up, then you could be making sales on autopilot. But then you also want to put each attendee into their own category when you're doing follow-up. So some people bought the product, you want to have those people in one follow-up funnel, and then some people came to the webinar but didn't buy the product, you want to have them in a separate follow-up funnel. And then some people may have registered but didn't attend the webinar, and you want to put them in an even different funnel, so that when you're marketing to them in your follow-up emails, you're not going to be saying the same thing, because if somebody already bought the product, you're not going to want to ask them to buy the product again because they've already done it, and that's going to, number one, come off kind of spammy, but two, like, you know, once I've taken a step, I don't want to be taken back to that same step. I want to move on to the next thing. So you want to keep those folks separate, and then be able to have follow-up funnels that, again, market to them in different ways, like y'all were talking about with the abandoned cart situation.
Yeah, make it specific to that person, because not every person in your audience is the same or created equal.
That's right.
Not all of your audience members are created equal. That's what I meant to say. All right. So, no, but seriously, take care of the folks that are giving you their email, you know?
For real.
So it looks like the next secret is on product launch funnels, if
Secret
we wrapped
number
up everything
16.
on the webinar. But
Yep.
product launch funnels are important because a product launch funnel has the following pages, okay? Has a free workshop page, multiple video pages, an offer page, usually with an order form at the bottom or on a separate page, and then after that, the thank you page. If you didn't notice, the thank you page is very important. Seriously.
It's essential.
Like, if you're going to create all this and not like thank anybody for going through all of it, you need to reevaluate your strategy. But yes, thank you page, important. Definitely important. So yeah, product launch funnels.
Yeah, so in a product launch funnel, you're typically going to have a presentation that's split up into 4 videos. And those videos each have a specific purpose behind them. So the first one is the wow and the how. You want to get people excited about the product and tell them how it works.
The vehicle, if you will.
The vehicle, once you're driving. Then the second video should be transformational education. So you're taking them from the place that they are with some sort of problem, and you're starting to solve that problem for them.
Internal beliefs.
Yes. So there's some sort of transformation that happens And we've all experienced this when we go from, oh, I'm frustrated, I need this thing, and I think this is going to solve my problem, to I have this thing and it's actually starting to solve my problem. And that's a very good feeling, and it is technically a transformation. And then the third one is going to be about the ownership experience. So maybe you've gotten into the product, you've looked at it a little bit, but you don't own the experience yet. You haven't read all the way through Dotcom Secrets, made a bunch of funnels, and are now operating in the way that an owner would. You're getting to that point. So you want to give people an idea of how it will be to operate and own this situation, whether that's your product being a book or some kind of widget or some kind of software, whatever it is that you want them to buy from you, give them the experience that it will be like to own it.
External beliefs.
Indeed,
for sure.
Indeed. We want to shut down those external beliefs, because a lot of times if I think, so Jelani talked about internal beliefs. There's usually 3 categories of things that are going to stop somebody from buying your product. It's an internal belief. Do I think I can do this? Whether the question is, or the answer to that question is yes or no, they might move on to the external beliefs. Maybe they do think they can do it. And it's like, well, is this the vehicle for me? Is this the thing that's going to work? That's an external belief, because it's something that you've created that they're coming to experience. And then the third thing is also part of an external belief, but they call it an environmental factor. So, well, I can do it, and this seems like a good vehicle, but the economy is so trash right now, or the education system's terrible, so this book is not going to work with these kids. Those types of roadblocks are the things that typically come up. So you want to eliminate those thoughts before the person even has a chance to ask them. But if they've already asked them in their head, you want to be able to answer those questions in your video sales presentation or your product launch funnel. And then the last video is the offer. So then you're going to offer them the product that you're selling. You're probably going to review some of the things that you went over in the other videos, and each video leads into the next one, and then the final one is the offer. So at this point, you're asking people to go ahead and purchase. You might have an upsell or downsell, and we can talk about those terms in a second. But ideally, at this point, somebody would take action and make a purchase.
So as far as like these types of videos, have you, Kristen, has there been a particular, I guess, I want to say curriculum, because usually when it comes to like trying to learn anything of any sort, I mean, I would just pretty much round it as curriculum. But like, is there any particular curriculum that's like giving you a boost on wanting to get into a subject more that you've experienced? Like you were like, oh, I don't know if I want to take this class, or I don't know if I want to learn this thing, and then you watch a video and you're like, all right, it's a little bit easier for me to get into that.
Yes, actually, public relations.
Okay.
Since a lot of YouTube videos, things of how to like market to your customers or your people, and I was kind of like, I might be able to do that. And so I actually took a class on public relations in college, and actually I'm good at it. So it was nice. It was good. Yeah.
See, that's something I would like to learn more about as well, PR specifically, because I do feel like a couple bands I've been in, I have played that role a bit. And I mean, I wasn't the sole person, but I do have a little bit of experience in it. But I've never seen a video that's like, you can do PR. And I'm like, I might need that. I might actually need something like that. But that's pretty fascinating, actually. Okay, cool.
Yes, thanks.
Man, yeah, I definitely have experienced that too. Not particularly with Dotcom Secrets, but just generally, marketing gurus, I think, tend to use this funnel maybe, because I've definitely gone through a series of videos that teaches you more about the thing, and then they probably make an offer to buy a book, or to get another series of videos from them, which ends in the offer. But
in my experience has been TED Talks. That's what's prominent in my head with like trying to convince me of something that I didn't really think much about before. And then usually the offer at the end for those are usually to pose, you with a question, or to say, okay, now that you've heard all of this, what's your thoughts? And then go with that. You know?
They want to engage you somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
they might even ask you to subscribe to TED or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
Some of the keys that I took from the product launch funnel, or this is usually for hot or warm traffic. So there's 3 types of traffic: cold, warm, and hot. Hot traffic is people that already know about you or your product. Warm traffic is more about like people that know about your product. And then cold traffic is just purely for people that have never heard of you before. And this particular one is for warm or hot traffic because you want to send these videos as a link in an email to people. So these are usually for people that are already on your email list.
Yep. Or people that have subscribed to your email list and maybe have told a friend about this product. Because that's honestly that's super helpful. So real quick, what I want to do is suggest that either we take a break because the battery.
Yeah, quick break.
But then we'll get into application funnels, which is the last part.
Yeah, application funnels up next.